Welcome. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? Oh, I think I see Jen. Who else is here? Let's see. Welcome, y'all. We got Debbie. Hey, Evie. How are you doing? Carla, you made it. Yay, Sue, welcome. Hi, Georgina. Stacho. Elaine, hi. Hi, Miriam. Astra. Danny. Let's see. Melissa, welcome. Aw. I see your picture now, Evie. Kind of pulling them up here. Let's see. Just seeing who we got here and giving y'all a good welcome. Got Anna in the background. Hey, Barbara. How has y'all's morning been? Or perhaps you're in Australia or it's already, hey, Yasmin. Maybe it's already afternoon for you. Hi, Divine Feminine. I guess I should, let's see. From Tucson, Georgina, welcome. Hi, Jay, from Los Angeles. Like the wavy hand. How's the level of the music before we get started with the talk on Ayurveda? We even have, yeah, we have people from all over the Netherlands, Germany. Let's see. I tried to register. Well, you're here. Yay, Miriam, you're here. From Florida, Nancy. Hello. Angel, is that how you say your name? Angel from the Netherlands. Welcome in. Jenny from Utah. Oh, I gotta see your puppy. Oh, so cute. Jenny, what's your puppy's name? Hi, Simone. Simone is also known as Flower Girl. She's been a yoga student of mine for a long time. So glad to see you, Simone. Karen A from Philly. Nice. Welcome. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Carla, for letting me know that music is good. I just want it to be like the feel and the vibe of as if we're sitting in a coffee shop just chatting. So welcome in, everybody. Hi, Laura. Daisy. Welcome, Jenny and Daisy. Jay, I know sometimes the chat function is a little bit odd, so, and just wonky, that's a good word to say it. And so if you're chatting something and I don't respond to it, it could be either that it didn't show up, or maybe it just scrolled on by and I can only scroll up to a certain point and I may have missed it. So if that's the case, you're welcome to just put it back in chat again, because what you have to say and what you contribute is important. Thank you, Jay. Is this the same Jay, photoatrist? You were Jay, you were in our vision board stream last week, I believe, and I think that your name was photoatrist whenever we were doing Twitch chat streams. Yay, Sarah, thank you for the confirmation that we got the vibe right. So everyone have your, you could take a few minutes and go get yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you like. I went ahead and prepared myself a cup of chamomile tea. So we'll sit here and chat and we'll give folks maybe just, where are we at on time? Maybe just a couple of minutes before we actually dive into the conversation. And I do want to call it a conversation, and I want to welcome you in, welcome you into this space. And thank you for being here. I know you're super busy. This topic must be important to you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So thank you for being here. And as I go through the talk on Ayurvedic cleanse, I want you to feel free to just say maybe your question. If you have one, let me know. go ahead and put it in chat as I'm talking, and we'll kind of let this be just a fluid conversation about Ayurveda. That said, I do have an agenda, and so I'm going to go ahead, and I do have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and hopefully you can see that now. So I do have a PowerPoint, an Ayurvedic cleansing for weight loss, and we'll give folks just about another minute or so to get your tea, to get your coffee, let everyone come in. I anticipate this time that we have together to be about an hour. And if you have to come and go, that's fine. I am recording this talk, and we do have a group here on Insight Timer called Grace Yoga, and I'll post this talk up on a place where and I'll post the link to that talk in the group, so that if you have to leave and come back and you feel like you missed something, you can always go back and listen to it as a resource. But that link will be available in the Grace Yoga circle that's here on Insight Timer. All right. Hey, welcome. Nuris? Yes. Yeah, I couldn't have strong black coffee, right? I had some this morning, and actually my coffee looks more like tea. It looks like when you hold it up to the light, it's very pale tea looking. So Phoebe, hi, welcome in. We're just about to start our talk on Ayurvedic cleansing. You come in at the right time. Thanks, Nuris. All right. Oh, okay, sure. Sounds good. So the group is the same as my name, Grace Yoga. When you search for Grace Yoga, you'll see both the group and my profile here on Insight Timer. So you can join that group. You could follow me also by clicking my picture here on the screen at the bottom right. And if you click that, you can click follow. And then from there, you can also be connected to how to get to that group. Okay. Okay, so with that, welcome in. We're going to go ahead and start our talk on Ayurvedic cleansing. I'll give you a little bit of background about me, and as I said earlier, if you have any comments or questions, please ask them like in the moment. That way, because if you're like me and you wait till the end or wait till another time, sometimes it feels like maybe the question has become irrelevant, or you forget, or I forget. So I would love for this to be more like a conversation. Okay, Ayurvedic cleansing for weight loss. A little bit of background on me is that I was an overweight child, young person. When I was in my preteens, I really just kind of let myself enjoy food. I think that was my source of joy for whatever was going on in my life at that time. I don't know why, I just ate until I was Thanksgiving full at every meal. So let me show you a picture of what I kind of looked like when I was about 12 or 13. See my mouse on screen? There we go. All right, so that was me, and I may have been 13, 14. No, I wasn't quite 14 there, maybe 13. And I weighed about 200 pounds at that time. And now I'm after going through Ayurvedic cleansing, I was able to get to 115 pounds, which is where I wanted to be. And for anyone who's uses kilograms, that's 91 kilograms to 52 kilograms. Yeah, and I felt so much lighter, so much happier, but it wasn't, of course, I'm 41 right now. And so my weight loss journey has been one for an entire, it's taken my whole life. I even have a chart for, if you'd like to kind of see what that looks like. So this is me when I was around that picture. I was like, this is BMI. So I was thinking about doing it in like pounds and stuff or kilograms, but more in the terms of BMI, because I think that's relatable to everyone. We each have our own BMI. And so I was, as you could see in the green, that's kind of where we want to be. Normal weight is 18.5 to 24.9 is that green area here. And when I was young, I just pushed myself up into like the 40s. It was, I was very unhealthy and I didn't feel good. I'd walk around feeling like I just had no energy. And then in my high school years, I did get into the normal range, being about maybe 150, 155 for me. And then here, when I hit my 20s, I kind of started doing this, which this may be where you're at. You may find yourself at any point on this scale, but I would try to lose weight. You see, my goal weight was actually 125. That's what I'd always wanted to get to. But I was stuck around 135. And anytime I tried to dip down, it was like, no. And I would diet, nope, lose the weight, get down to 129. Yay, I'm so happy. And then boom, I just right back up. I couldn't ever break below that 130. I couldn't ever go below that, but that's what I wanted. Okay. That was I wanted to break below that 130 mark. So I'm a yoga teacher, and I started doing yoga when I was about 19 years old. And so that's where you can see where yoga really helped to bring a little bit of balance into my life. But it was when I started doing Ayurveda at this curve where I was really able to break through, go down below that 130 pound mark for me and get to 125. So it was in 2019 that I was able to do the Ayurvedic cleanse. I broke below the 130 mark. I got to 125. I had no problem doing so. And what's great about it is I didn't have any problem keeping the weight off. It didn't come back unless I wanted it to, unless I chose like, you know what, I want to start to maybe put on a couple of pounds. I feel like I'm at the bottom of this, green band, I see some comments coming in. Thank you, Neris. Thank you. Yeah, Carla, we're right there. Sarah, so your challenges, I see you, I hear you. So Phoebe, that's good. Oh, that she's not obese, but it's not good she has a vomiting problem. Triggered by what she eats or order of food while eating. Oh, okay, Phoebe, we'll take this information in. Maybe you'll find something in this talk today that can help you and maybe your daughter as well. Oh, Guess, thank you. Or Miriam, thank you for sharing that, Miriam. I would just binge. Like I would just eat. And there was what's going on there is a kind of a lack of balance. We get imbalance. So with Ayurveda, what we do is we find balance. One last point on, if we look at the chart from the highest point to the point I started practicing Ayurveda, the way that I managed my weight was by dieting, monitoring what I ate, calorie counting. I would do any of the fad diets. So if you've done, what are some of the fad diets out there? It was South Beach. That's where I was like and I love South Beach. I thought it was a pretty healthy way to eat because it started you off with low carbs and then you worked your way into having more carbs, healthy carbs. But it still didn't help me. Cannot lose weight now, Evie. I hear you. Life, brain, typos, no worries. Atkins, there you go, Carla. So there's another one. Atkins came out about the same time as South Beach. But after Ayurveda, during this, we have at the top, this green area right here, I no longer diet. Now I just approach my meals with a balanced diet, and that's from this Ayurvedic cleansing, which we're going to get into right now. Carol, cannot lose since menopause. Thank you for sharing that, Carol. Thank you. Some of these things, you could always give them a shot, try them, see if they help your body find the balance that you're looking for. And this Ayurvedic cleanse is let's see, let me read your chat, Miriam. Eat 3 to 4 Brazil nuts in a day, but no more than 4 of the natural selenium for your thyroid. Oh, interesting. Cool. Thank you. All right. So, overview of the Ayurvedic cleanse. Ayurvedic cleansing starts in the spring. For me, Spring is going to start March the 20th, I believe. But for you, that may be different. Perhaps your spring is later in the year. This is just, in general, it's best to start an Ayurvedic cleanse in spring when you start to see the little buds coming on the trees and they start to grow those little buds for blooming. And that's because in the spring, it supports our body for shedding the weight. So it's a healthy environment because it's raining a lot, the ground is mushy, it's wet. It's like our external environment supports us to lose the weight. Because in the winter, it's very windy, it's very dry, but our body needs a little bit of insulation from all of that cold and dryness. And so that's why it's best to start an Ayurvedic cleanse in the spring. And the Ayurvedic cleanse generally lasts 4 months. It sounds like a long time. It's definitely not a quick diet that you just do maybe 1 week and then you're done. What happens is during these 4 months, your habits change, your cravings change, your body processes the food fully because we're cleaning our digestive system and cleaning the gut. And so nutrients are able to be absorbed into the system. And it's a gradual process. So it's not overnight. And the good thing is that it lasts. There's no bounce back, to like what the cycle that yo-yo dieting that I was talking about earlier. It's like that's just completely taken out. And then you start to crave those things that are actually healthy for you. When you're in balance, you'll stay in balance. And that's what the Ayurvedic cleanse is designed to do, is to bring you in balance. There are 4 stages. So even though it's 4 months, it's like you don't start everything all in one day. You add things little by little. You'll increase in the herbs little by little. So if the recommendation for the herbs is to take, say, 500 milligrams of triphala, you wouldn't start the 500 milligrams on day 1. You'd cut it down maybe to 1/4, maybe 1/8, and then just increase it slowly. So we're all about gradually adding these different protocols to our daily lifestyle. Some of the things in the circle that you see are taking herbs daily, taking fiber, excuse me, dry brushing, tongue scraping, juicing, making and having bone broth, and 6 tastes. What that is making sure that your plate has all the 6 tastes. So can anyone guess what the 6 tastes are? Yeah, we did the cleanse last year together. So 5 kilograms is roughly, is it about 10 pounds or so? And your skin was clean, and it brightens up your skin. Yep. Thank you for sharing that, Simone. Yep. And that's awesome, Georgina. When your body, like we do crave or should crave carbs in the fall and winter because we need that extra protection. That is awesome. That is one of the things that you want when your body is in balance. You want it to be in tune with the seasons. There you go, Melissa. Pungent, astringent, bitter. You got the hard ones. Danny, sweet, salty, sour. Great. Yep, that's right. Yeah, Carla. So Melissa, she had it right off. Pungent and astringent. Those are the two that, pungent is like spicy. And then astringent and bitter is what we get with like you hear bitter herbs. And astringent is also added with either spices or different vegetables or herbs. Yep, you got it. So we got Melissa, Danny, Carla, Georgina, Nuris, and Becky. Let me give you all like 10 stars for all your input here. All right, with taking herbs, just a word of caution. Make sure your doctor is on board with you taking the herbs. And we'll go over what they are here in just a moment, but I just want you to know that they are known to affect certain maybe medications or conditions. So just make sure your doctor knows and is good with you taking herbs, okay? All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. What does a 4-month Ayurvedic cleanse look like? What do we do? So month 1, every morning, dry brush. I didn't bring my dry brush, but I have a couple. And then I also have Garshin gloves. They're like, instead of a brush, it's a glove that you can use on your body. And what that does, it helps to open up the pores so that it makes ways for the toxins to get out through our skin, through the largest organ of our body. So we use our skin as a form of detoxing in this Ayurvedic cleanse. Good point, Karen. That could be another issue that your doctor would say, hey, maybe it's not good for you. So I'm going to give you as much information as I can today so that you can decide if doing an Ayurvedic cleanse is good for you. Hey, that's a good question, Melissa. So she's bringing up dosha. Dosha is, what is your body's constitution? In middle school or high school, you may have heard ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. And you'd see the 3 pictures, like the 3 different body frames: large, medium, and maybe thin and small. This is kind of what a dosha is, but Ayurveda goes even deeper. What we are made up of elements that are found in the physical world that we're in: earth, wind, fire, Captain Planet. Earth, wind, fire, water, space. So we have 5 elements, and each of us, you, me, we all have a different makeup of all of these 5 elements. And so there are different quizzes that you can do online out there. Simply Google dosha quiz. There's some good ones. And you can find out what your constitution is, what your dosha is. Mine is fire and water, which is basically a medium frame and a large frame person, like kind of a mix between the 2. And it's not really, it doesn't have everything to do with the size. It could be your preferences. When you go to sleep, do you like it completely dark? Do you need a little bit of light? Do you need a little bit of sound? Do you prefer spicy foods? It's like all of it, everything has everything to do with what your dosha is. So that is something for another lecture, like another time. I just wanted you to know what dosha was so that it may come up later in this, and it has everything to do. I mean, it ties in great with an Ayurvedic cleanse, and it's important for you to know what your dosha is. We're just not going to get into the details of it today, but I did want you to have a little bit of understanding of what that is. There you go. Okay, JC, I've seen this question before. And what I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to be in touch with the divine feminine. It's not going to be rigid. It's do what works best for you. I'm going to tell you what I was taught as far as like the dry brushing each morning. I was taught that it should be done before showering. You can give it a try. Maybe you do it before, maybe you do it after. But by divine feminine, I mean, it's not going to be rigid. It's not a rigid process. It's all about listening to your body and doing what's best for you. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Carla's dosha is Vata. Awesome. Is there a good dosha quiz? Laura, there's a couple out there that I know of, and I'm not promoting them. It's just ones that I've been aware of. One is on Joyful Belly's website, and then another is on Banyan Botanical's website. But there are probably other ones, so I'm not promoting or endorsing them. Those are just 2 that I know of that are reputable. Maybe, let's see, maybe someone can tell guests to close and come back in, because sometimes that happens to me whenever I lose volume. Something happens with the stream. Yeah, there you go, divine feminine. Dry brushing your body. Yes, Carol, dry brushing your body. You take the brush and you just brush from the extremities up and you work your way up to your heart. I've also heard that you work toward your lymphatic like centers, so like in the armpits and in like the hip groin area. Thank you, Sarah. Nancy, so Nancy has heard that Deepak Chopra site has a site that you can look up. Laura and Banyan Botanicals was the other. If you dry brush your skin, is it going to get dry? Evie, that's a really good question because, and we might even have Simone chime in too, because last year when we were going through the cleanse together, she has very sensitive skin. I do too sometimes. So if it's not intended to hurt, and the point is not to like get the dead skin off. You don't want to do it hard so that it makes your skin red. You just want to kind of stimulate it. It's a soft brush, no harder than you would if you were to like glide a dime across the skin. So that's the pressure that it would need. And so what it does, it helps to open up the pores so that the skin becomes open so that the toxins can go out. Hey, Sarah, good question. Carol first, let's see. Carol asked, what do I use? As far as I've used both the dry brush or the gloves. And it really just depends on how my skin is doing that day, or it may just come down to like, what do I have right now? Because I know, life happens, it gets really busy, and like, oh man, I left my gloves in my backpack. Say I went up to visit my mother-in-law and I'm like, I'm not gonna have my dry brush here. So I'm just gonna use what I have because my time is limited. Time is limited. Your time is valuable. Oh, nice, Nancy. Okay, awesome. That's another thing that you could do on this. And it's actually called in Ayurveda, it's called abhyanga, skin oiling. So you warm up oil. You can use coconut oil. Coconut oil is good for in the summertime. But if it's in the wintertime, you may want to use more of a warming oil, like sunflower oil, sesame seed oil. Coconut oil is cooling, so it's great for those of us who are fire or pitta dosha. Argan oil is great for the skin. It matches our skin's oil like so closely. So it's a beautiful oil to use as well. Evie, I saw your comment. Thank you. Thank you, Simone. Could you use a baby hairbrush? You certainly could, Divine. You could even use a wash rag. If you do not have a brush or those raw silk gloves, you can use a wash rag, or that baby hairbrush would be good too. And Anami has a concern about showering at night. Is it necessary to shower after doing the dry brush? And you didn't want to do the dry brushing while your skin was, yeah, because you want your skin to be clean. It should be done on clean, dry skin. So I hear you. So you do just modify, do like honor the divine feminine within. You know, if you go with the flow, do what you can to use the brush on dry, clean skin. And then just like you said, try it. Do it in the morning, head out for the day. You know, just give it a try. See what works best for you. It's like waking up the body. Really good point, Simone. Really good point. Laura, CCFT. Yes, CCFT is cumin, coriander, fennel tea. Dry brushing the whole body, you do the soles of the feet, you brush up the body, up the legs, the torso. On the stomach, you go in circles. And this could be something that perhaps I can share later, how to dry brush. And also there are really good resources out there too, videos on how to dry brush, which if you go to the Grace Yoga group circle here on Insight, I will post a link of one of my favorite dry brushing techniques with you there. So I'm just going to make a list here to do that. So join our Grace Yoga circle so that you can have access to that video that I'll share the link to in our group. Okay. How long does it take to dry brush your body? That's a really good question, Carla. It should take no longer than 3 to 5 minutes. The CCFT, since everyone has questions about CCFT, that's a really good question because it stands for cumin, coriander, and fennel. There are a couple of methods, and I'll also share the link on how to make CCFT in our group. But there are 2 ways that I do it. One is boiling, like making the whole batch, because you should have about a quart of it, sipping it throughout the day. Not glugging it like, oh, I'm gonna have all this all in the morning, I'm gonna get it done. No, it's not that. Sip on it throughout the day. And the first way to make it, kind of lost track there, kind of getting on a tangent. In about a quart-sized pan, or I have a 3-quart pan, so I'll make the tea for me and my husband, and I'll make 2 quarts of tea, and I'll put the seeds in there, cumin, coriander, and fennel, and boil it for 15 minutes, let it cool down, and then sip on that throughout the day. Or you can just do like 1 cup at a time. And I have the recipe for that. If you join the Grace Yoga group, then I will put the link to how to make the tea with a recipe in that group. Awesome, Rachel. And Rachel, your skin is like, and it's just like glows. Your skin is like, Rachel is my sister. So I mean, that's why I know Rachel, and she's just like, looks amazing. People always ask, like, they ask her age and they're like, you're 20 something, right? She's like, nope. Like she's in her 40s. Sorry, Rachel, I hope that's all right that I shared that. But she looks like she's in her 20s. Anami, when should we wash the dry brushes as they accumulate dead skin and such? I would say wash them. I don't have a fixed set of schedule. I would just say, because everybody's body's different. Some people are going to have much more oil produced in their skin, and the brushes will get the oil in them, and the oil will become rancid over time. And rancid oil is not healthy for us. And so I would just say whatever you think is best, as long as it appears clean and smells clean, like you could smell the brush. And if you've smelled oil that's rancid, it's like, it has a repelling smell. So if you smell the brush and it has a repelling smell, I'd say definitely wash the brush at that time. What type of fiber? Food-based. Thank you, Rachel. All right, Sarah. The fiber that I take is psyllium husk and ground up flax seeds. Now, flax seeds, they go rancid. So I only grind, they go rancid like faster. Like you can't just grind up a whole bunch of flax seeds and use them for years or months or whatever. You need to grind them up and then use them, maybe like grind them up once a month, like have enough for the month, keep them stored in the refrigerator so that the oil doesn't go as rancid as quickly. But it's an equal part blend of psyllium husk and ground up flax seeds. So I always buy the ground up flax seeds in whole flax seeds, and then grind them up myself, and then I'll make my mixture for the month. I don't, Phoebe. That's a really good question. And the reason that I don't is that the toothbrush and the bacteria on the toothbrush, I don't like the idea of putting that on my tongue and getting the bacteria from the toothbrush on my tongue. What would be a better option if you don't have a tongue scraper is to simply use a spoon. You're welcome, Sarah. To take the fiber, it's every other night. And just like we were talking about gradual, it's so important to be gradual with the fiber every other night. Working your way up to a teaspoon of that 50-50 mixture, but starting with like 1/8 of a teaspoon, like a little, and it's just before bed. So it's a little bit of fiber in a cup of water about this size, about, a coffee cup full, mixed in with lukewarm water, right? And then have that right before bed. It could even be less than that. You can do the mixture to your preference. And I mean, that's great. Yeah, these are all tools for your self-care, right? Ultimately, this is all about self-care. That's what I do, Maria. I scrape my tongue after brushing my teeth. I may have done it before. Hey, there's E.T. Hey, E.T., how are you? Eating fungi. I think that whatever works best for a person, I don't have strong thoughts on it. I've heard that like eating mushrooms, don't eat it because it's fungus, right? But I've also heard about the mushrooms that grow in Antarctica, and you can have that are good for you. So I don't have strong feelings one way or another because I haven't had enough experience with them or enough education on them. So I hope that answers your question, E.T. Ground flax seeds, Frida. You've learned that they're not healthy at all. Interesting. All I know about ground flax seeds is that I buy them whole and I grind them myself because the oil on the flaxseed oil can go rancid so quickly. And that's why it's best to have it whole flax seeds. Yay, thank you, E.T. All right, awesome. Okay, so did we get everything? Dry brushing each morning, tongue scrape each morning, which that's probably the easiest thing to do, the tongue scraping. And it's enjoyable when you see that stuff come off and it's like, whoa, yay, I'm excited to get that off my body, out. Because what that is on the tongue is ama, or that's the word in Sanskrit for like toxins, undigested food within the body. We want to get that off. And if we can get it off our tongue and not let it go into our body, then we're headed off in the right direction. We're off to the right start for the day. Plus, when we tongue scrape, it's actually activating all the different parts of the digestive system. Each part of the tongue is directly connected to one organ of the nervous system. So when we do that, it starts to stimulate it, activates it for the day. Hi, Iga. Hi, Anami. Okay, so the one that I use is shaped like a U. I can't speak to the one that's an oval, but if there's anyone in here who has like experience with what you like, you can please feel free to let us know. Triphala, JC, I see your question. Triphala is an Ayurvedic herb that helps your digestive system work and move. And so if you have a problem with being constipated or not having bowel movements, the Triphala will help to move things along so that you do have a bowel movement. It is healthy to have a bowel movement once a day in the morning. Once your system gets balanced, it's common to actually wake up to that sensation of needing to go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement. And if there is any questions about that, just feel free to ask. JC, so Triphala is made up of 3 herbs, berries. It's an herb but it comes from 3 berries: Amalaki, Bibataki, and Haritaki. And those are all 3 berries that are found in India predominantly, but one of them is gooseberry. So that probably also grows in the US as well. But yeah, and they just help. It's like, when you eat fruit also helps you to go to the bathroom and have your bowel movement. But the Triphala also just takes that. It's in powder form or it can be in tablet form. Okay, Maria, I see your question. Did you say tongue scraping before or after? I mean, you can do it either way. It's really preference, right? But for what I do is I do it, I'm trying to remember. I think I've done it both ways, but I think I prefer to get up and brush and then do that. So just get everything off. And if you want, you can even try to do it both ways, like do it before and after. Just see which one you like the best. Okay. E.T., I'm seeing your question here. It keeps disappearing. How do you clean your tongue scraper? Oh yeah, no, that's not a silly question. I clean it with soap and then I clean it off with a towel. I mean, you can, if it really needs that sterilization, it can be thrown in the dishwasher because it's stainless steel, the one that that I use anyways. I think it's a good question because like having the tongue scraper there that just sits and just all the time without being cleaned, that doesn't sound good. And JC, were you asking about, is that fiber, is that trifla, is that fiber? I may have already answered that question. Trifla alternatives. Just Googled and never seen these seeds. Phoebe. Are you asking if they're trifla alternatives? And where do you get it? Okay. Also, if you join the Grace Yoga group, everyone, then I'm going to put a link there. Well, actually, you could just simply go right now to my profile page on Insight Timer, and you'll see that my website is graceyoga.net. And you can go to graceyoga.net, and there's a link there, and it's got all the items listed for the cleanse, like all in order. It's got links if you're curious. So if you're writing all of this down, you don't have to write it down. You could just use that as a resource. You just go to graceyoga.net. In the menu bar, it's the first link on the menu bar. So that's graceyoga.net. And that is the link that's already in my Insight Timer profile. Oh, LaJoy, you like that one? I was curious about the Master Medi tongue scraper. So thank you for telling me that. I think that's really good information. Is it okay to take trifla? Yes, it is, Anami. It's perfectly fine. That's how I take it in capsule form. And Divine, I see you may have answered a question, a probiotic. So you might have been answering a question. Karen, thank you. I'm glad this music is good. I just wanted to be like, we're having coffee here, talking about Ayurvedic cleansing. Peace, hi there. Neris, I'm glad that you like the music. You do it afterwards, Evie. It's fine. I don't think that there's like strict right or wrong. Again, we just kind of want to change our habits slowly, gradually, so that we can start incorporating them. And then what happens is they just become part of our regular routine. So then we start living a really a healthy lifestyle, but it kind of sneaks in and it's so gradual. You don't really notice it. And before you know it, it's just part of just your regular daily habits. They're U-shaped. Awesome, LaJoy. Like when you use it, you don't have to put it through the dishwasher every day, ET, but it's just good I just kind of wash it off and then I dry it off with the towel really nicely. So CCFT is cumin, coriander, and fennel tea. And on the Grace Yoga circle that we have here on Insight Timer, I'll put a link to a video of how to make the CCFT. And it could also be something that maybe we have another talk one day and maybe I'll actually take you to my kitchen and then we'll make some of these things together, like the CCFT, like the curry powder. There's like a curry powder that we take, or the bone broth. There you go. Yes, Karen, cumin, coriander, and fennel. Thank you for answering Peace's question. Yes, ET, we have a Grace Yoga group. For triphala, in the link that I was talking about, if you go to the website, graceyoga.net, which that is linked from the Insight Timer, my profile, on the menu bar, it's got all the links to the products that I would personally get for myself. LaJoy, I would probably, because it does have a very tart taste. Triphala has a very tart taste. And I would say getting it in pill form is the more approachable way. And then once your body is in balance, more in balance, I should say, then the triphala actually starts to taste sweet. So it actually starts to taste good, but at first it's really tart. So the pill would probably be the way to go. You guys are awesome. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Iga. Thank you, Karen. Y'all are great for supporting each other. Answering Peace's question. Thank you, Phoebe. I do not, Jay, tongue scrape at night. And the reason is because it starts to activate the digestive system's organs. Unless, so when you're practicing Ayurveda, there's still a time, like say you want to take your kids out and they get to choose the restaurant and they get to go, and so your whole family has fun with it, and you go and you enjoy, and you've had something for dinner that was maybe a little bit more, maybe heavier than you had wanted, and then maybe it would be okay if you really need to do it before bed, but I wouldn't recommend making it a habit of tongue scraping right before bed. Do you eat a certain way? That's a really good question, Carrie. At first, no changes to the diet, not in month 1, not on day 1, not on day 2 or 7, maybe the middle of the month, maybe things might start shifting where what you start to notice is that, that whatever sweet. So I made fudge for Christmas, and I still have, it's sitting in there, and sometimes I crave it, but what happens when on the cleanse and doing it's like, my body starts to not crave that anymore. Like it just doesn't want it anymore. So that's what happens. So you don't have to choose and use your willpower, your solar plexus. You don't have to like use that willpower to force yourself to push that craving away. Rather, you allow the cleanse to do its work and help you to drop those cravings so that you can make the choices that are best for you to bring you into balance. ET, you say, oh my gosh, please, did I must have gotten on a tangent. Oh, okay, got it, peace. Okay, now we're there. Okay, so yeah, we can do videos. That's what we were talking about. We can do videos or talks where we get together and we start making some of these things. And since the cleanse for me will kick off March 20th, you're welcome to start the same day as me, and we can go on this journey together. And then we can meet, like talk on the Grace Yoga group, Grace Yoga Circle, and we can stay connected and kind of keep each other motivated and even perhaps accountable through the journey together. Yeah, let's make some tea together. Kitchen trip. Oh, thank you, Divine. Thank you. Can you brush at night? The dry brush, I would say it wakes up the body. It stimulates the body. You can try it and see if it works for you. But if you find that you've just been too stimulated from the dry brushing and all your systems are like activated and a go, then just make your choice after you've tried it. I'm all about dipping your toe in the water, giving it a try, seeing what works for you. Betty, hi. Betty is my mother-in-law. Hi, Betty. Nuris, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're here. And you can lose weight only with these lists. This is month 1, so this is a 4-month journey. If you do month 1 and stop after that, the weight loss may not be at what you wanted it to be. It's best to make it through the whole journey. Month 2 is where it really starts to shift, and we're about to go talk about month 2 right now. LaJoy, I'm happy to find you too. I don't, oh wait, yeah, I do know Mappy. I know Mappy. They're a good company, so 2 thumbs up. ET, I eat fudge. I'm all about, like I said, dipping your toe in. Like, it's all about experiencing it, like having it, it's fine. But it's also about letting it go too. Just like enjoy the experience, which some would call that tantra, like just enjoying that experience. And my yoga teacher training was actually from through a tantric school. Melissa, thank you so much for your super generous donation. Evie, awesome. Yes, Jay, I have done this Ayurvedic cleanse since 2019. The first year, just like Simone had mentioned earlier, the first year I lost 10 pounds and I kept it off. It felt like I was totally in control. Totally in control of my weight loss, weight gain, if I wanted to gain weight. It gave me that freedom. LaJoy, I will be happy to do this journey together with you. Between now and then, just start getting your supplies ready. If like with the New Year resolution, if you wanted to work out, just enjoy the time. That's what I would say. Just enjoy the time between now and March 20th. Thank you, Bob. Let me write your suggestion down. A full explanation of dry brushing. Maybe that would be another good talk for us to have. Are your questions still posting? Which one, Anami? I didn't see it. I just saw that question now. I saw your last question about triphala in capsule form, and my recommendation is to take it in capsule form. And the reason that it's very bitter, and the powder is okay, but capsule form or tablet form would be best at first. I've had this question a lot, Jenny. Would you recommend traveling and doing this cleanse? You can't make the tea, you can't make other things, but there are things that you can do. And since, yes, it starts in March, and that's the month that a lot of us have spring break, this is a fantastic question. Don't start each one of these things here right away on the same day. Add one thing, add another. You can pack your dry brush gloves with you if you go out of town or if you travel. Perhaps you can take like a bag of the seeds, the cumin, coriander, and fennel. Maybe wherever you're traveling has a way to heat up water. And so make yourself a cup of CCFT. Just pack it in there, plan for it. But no need to take every single thing. Thank you, Evie. Yep, direction toward the heart. Dry brushing, you can either use raw silk gloves or a dry brush. The raw silk gloves are a little bit more gentle. You can even use a dry wash rag. Thank you for the question, LaJoy. Angie, what form and how much fiber? I would recommend starting with the smallest amount of fiber, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon, and it's a 50-50 blend of psyllium husk and freshly ground up flax seeds. Now, you can grind up a bit and maybe use the same flax seeds for the month. Just don't grind up flax seeds and plan to use them for the entire 4 months, or even worse, like I'll grind up my whole pound of flax seeds and then use them for this year and next year. That would be not good because the flax seeds and the oil in them goes rancid a lot quicker than other seeds would. Yes, so I would say animate to start whenever your spring is, whenever your spring starts. When you start seeing the little buds growing on the trees, that's when to start your Ayurvedic cleanse. Thank you, LaJoy, for your just information on the chat box. Thank you. In March, it's still winter there, Evie. So yeah, okay. So wait, yeah, just wait till your spring. Can you take, yes, Jay, you can take your vitamins while on the cleanse. Do you use intermittent fasting? This is a good question, Neris. Okay, great. Pretty much Ayurveda supports intermittent fasting. And we'll get into that into month 4. And I see that we're running a little short on time. I will be happy to stay here for longer than the time. I understand if you have to go. So let's go on to month 2, and we'll get into your question, Neris, in just a moment. Okay, let me go to the next screen. So month 2. Month 2 is where a lot of transformation starts to happen, particularly because of this mono diet. Month 2, you introduce 2 new herbs, ashwagandha and brahmi. You take them with breakfast and dinner. If you are a journaling person, if you like doing that, having a craving journal can help. This mono diet, this is something that I would love to do, this mono diet with each of you when the time comes. It's making khichdi and having only khichdi for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 to 5 days, and then weaning yourself back off. Once you do this mono, this is where I started noticing my pants were fitting looser, and it wasn't, the awesome thing about it is it wasn't hard to do. It was easy. And I'm like, oh, it was just kind of like a thing that happened. I'm like, oh yeah, my pants are looser now. That's cool. I'm really excited about the mono diet, and I hope that we can do that together. A group of us could do that together here as a group on Insight Timer. We introduce making bone broth. There is store-bought bone broth, the one in the box, but that doesn't have enough collagen in it. Now it is available to buy bone broth that does have the collagen. There are powders. There are lots of other innovations these days than when I started doing the cleanse that you could try and see if it works for you. But the point of the bone broth is it has to have that collagen. I've had questions, is there a vegetarian bone broth? And the short answer is the vegetarian bone broth doesn't actually have the bone or the collagen in it. And that's what our intestines need, because it helps to nourish the lining of our intestines to help it bring it back to that being super nourished, being able to allow the nutrients into our bodies. And then of course the juicing 3 to 5 times a week. Mono diet is only lunch and dinner for these days. I have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could, if you don't want to have khichdi for breakfast, you could have oatmeal as an option. Kettle and fire. Thank you, Karen. That is another, I haven't tried it myself, but I was wondering if that would be a good substitute, because making the bone broth is a tedious process. And if you don't have time, this kettle and fire may be something. Just look at the nutritional info on it and see. And thank you for vouching for it, Karen. Anami, you found 1 bag of milled flaxseed on Amazon. You would want it to be whole. So I would not get the one that's already ground. So as long as they're whole seeds, you're good. And Anjali, sorry, which fiber? Flaxseed and psyllium husk. Lots on their website. Awesome, Karen. Yeah, Sarah, there's none that I know of, but I think that's a very good question. And Laura, you say always making chicken, soaking bones with water and vinegar. Do beef broth. The different bone broths do different things. You can look at different, like there's even marine, collagen, bovine, and chicken. And honestly, I think it's good to kind of vary don't just stick to one, kind of have the plate full of different types of different bone broths. Maria, you missed the mono diet explanation. What that is khichdi. Khichdi is a very easy to digest dish that's made of mung beans and rice, and it has Ayurvedic spices in it, such as turmeric, ginger, and this is actually a conversation for another stream of like how to make it. So we should make it together. Making khichdi, and then you eat that breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for 3 to 5 days. The bone broth is made in, I make it in an Instapot. I was thinking about this yesterday, Laura, and I'm thinking that a pressure cooker, if that's what you have, would work fine. What types of juices? Great, Sarah. This is also another conversation for another stream that I want to get into with everyone. However, I'm going to write it down for me to put something on our Grace Yoga group to share what that recipe is. There are 2 different juicing recipes. One helps you ignite your digestive fire. The other one, if you're already like fiery and you need to cool it down, there's one for that as well. And some of the ingredients, which I can just touch on quickly here, are red cabbage, ginger, spinach or kale. Those are just some of the ingredients, but we'll get into the juicing and actually what's involved in that at a later time. There you go, Georgina. That's exactly what I do with my chicken bone broth in my Instant Pot. 2 hours, perfect. When you refrigerate it, it becomes like jellified, and you can that's got the collagen in it, and that's what we need for the digestive system. It's like lotion for the intestines, right? It's really, really good. Khichdi is really tasty, JC. And Danny, I saw your question, adding the collagen powder to the store-bought bone broth. And I think that's okay to do in if that's all the time that you have to do. Because anything packaged, it's going to have extra ingredients in there. So limiting it to only those times that you have the time to do it. Like, okay, well, I'm going to do that this week. But next weekend, I'm going to make myself a batch of bone broth. Then that's okay. I would just say make it more of the exception rather than the norm. Powdered, yeah, Anami. So I saw your question. It reminded me of Danny's question. I think they're related. I think the powder is kind of like it's kind of like this option of having fresh fruits and vegetables versus frozen or canned. So the quality of it, the further you get away from it being fresh, the more you're losing out of that, the nutrition from it. Oh, I just, let me go back. There were number 3. Okay. Vital protein for you. I do too, Jenny. I've been adding the marine vital protein, like a scoop to my coffee every morning. So that's something that I do regularly. Not part of the cleanse. I'll continue to do it through the cleanse, but I like that. Is it better to do 3 to 5 days consecutively or one day on and off? Sarah, for the mono diet, for the 3 to 5 days, all that is just a dedicated 3 to 5 days in the middle of the second month that you do the mono diet, those 3 days. And actually is so much easier than having to cook and plan breakfast, lunch, and dinner separately. It's like, oh, I already know what I'm going to eat. And then I find that I have so much time on the days that I'm doing that, the mono diet, those 3 to 5 days. That said, anytime through the year, if you would like to take one day, Sarah, and just do that mono diet 1 day a week, that will be good for you. It doesn't hurt to do that. It is absolutely fine to do that. Not that I know of, Laura, not that I know of. I don't think it changes it energetically. I don't think. But I don't know for sure. I'm going to write it down and just do a little research on it. So that way, if you had to make a batch of it and then have it for later, that way you get it all done at once. And that is better, honestly, than not having it at all. Oh, microwaving is not good. It irradiates the food and it changes the foods, just basically the structure of the molecules in the food. So avoid microwaving it if at all possible. Sarah, you do love kitchery. How awesome. All right, let's get into the month 3, and then we have just month 3, month 4 won't take too much more of your time, and then that'll be it for the overview for today. So we're just about done. I really appreciate your questions so far. Let's keep going. And again, if you have to duck out, this recording of this video, I was going to say it was going to be, but I just noticed that I'm not recording it correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to have another talk on this in February. So in 1 month, we're going to do this again, and I'll record it right that time. And that way, for anyone else who comes in, I'll do another talk on this on February, about a month from now. So it will be February 5th or 12th, and I'll be posting that. Okay, so let's talk about month 3. Oh, Sabine, your question, what was mono diet? It is eating khichdi, the same meal, khichdi for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 to 5 days. And I hope to do that together with a group here in our Grace Yoga Circle. So join our Grace Yoga Circle so that once we do that mono diet, maybe there's a few of us who will be doing it together. Google is a very powerful Ayurvedic herb. It is made of a resin, and it could even be too powerful for your body. So that said, even though they come in little tablet forms, I would highly recommend taking a 1/4 or an 1/8 of the recommended dosage on it, or even just the tablet. It also comes in powder form, so I just take very little. All of this is just start small and work your way up. You may find that you only have to take it once a week. So even though this says daily, this is in general taken daily, but it is very powerful. Curry powder for the seasons to spice up our foods, to give us those 6 tastes. So we start to add more spices to our everyday meals. And then as needed, having ginger tea to help fire up the digestive system. Carla, thank you so much for your very generous donation. Thank you, Sarah. Good to have you here. Month 4. So as you go through the months, you're actually continuing to do what you did the previous months, and you keep doing them throughout the whole 4 months. And this month is great because you're not adding anything else to your daily protocol. You're not adding any more herbs. You're not making any more juices. I mean, you're continuing to take what you're already taking, and you continue to make the juice that you're drinking and the bone broth through this month, but there's nothing new introduced. So Sarah, your question on, and I'm going to go back to month 3 for La Joy. Your question on what type of curry, it's none of the above. So it is a homemade curry recipe, which this will be another recipe that's shared in the Grace Yoga Circle. There's a recipe for curry for every season. So if you are in your springtime, your curry mix will have perhaps a little bit more cayenne pepper or black pepper, something to spice it up. And all of them do have spices like turmeric, ginger, cumin. They're all going to have that as a base, but for each season, the curry powders are going to have a little bit different ingredients. Since the Ayurvedic cleanse is done in the springtime, that springtime curry powder is going to have more of those spicy flavors, the pungent flavors, so it'll help ignite the digestive system. So yes, Simone had Google once a month. It was much too powerful for her, and you'll find that your body is different from how mine would be, or from what Simone experienced. Again, it's about dipping the toe in the water and see what works best for you. You got it, Carla. Warm up the salad. So Carla was looking at, and LaJoy, if I have to go back to slide the previous one, just let me know. Biggest meal at lunch, warm up the foods. Yes, even salads, even warm up your salads. I know it seems odd, but it actually tastes really good. And the reason that we do that is because it makes it easier for us to digest those raw foods. Eating raw vegetables is really tough on the digestive system. And so warming them up, heating them up, kind of cooking them before you eat them is a way that we use fire to digest the food a little bit more, and then we eat it. And then the tempered food, the cooked food, the cooked salad, our body can really get in there and absorb its nutrients. It's not about overcooking it, like, like in the can of spinach and making it like that cooked, but just fire it up a little bit. Maybe put a little bit of coconut oil and kind of grilling them, or maybe you want to steam them just a little bit. It's your choice, and enjoying them that way. JC, I'm thankful that you are getting something out of this talk and out of this information. Same thing to you, Sarah. Yes, JC, we must. Otherwise, if with a strict like you have to do this strict protocol, it's only setting us up for failure. And we want to be successful in this because an Ayurvedic cleanse can really help you lose the extra weight. And I can tell you why. Through the Ayurvedic cleanse, we're not really just losing fat off the body. We're actually getting rid of toxins that have been stored there, perhaps in the fat, for many years. And so trying to get rid of those toxins by simply counting calories, or by doing the low carb diet, or whatever diet is out there, all that does, yes, it helps you lose the weight, but it doesn't target those toxins. So those toxins are still sitting there, like needing to be released. And the body's like, what does it do when it's like protecting itself? It kind of gets closed off, right? And so when we do this cleanse, like the dry brushing, it's opening up our skin, opening up those channels for those toxins to flow out. So you may notice pimples. You may notice some other, they're called die-off symptoms. You could even feel like a little bit of a headache one day. Maybe you feel a little sad because you're getting not only rid of the physical toxins, but you're getting rid of the emotional accumulations that are stored in the body through doing an Ayurvedic cleanse. Yes, got it. Got it, JC. Yes, you're welcome, Carla. So good question, Laura. Khichdi is just a one-time, 3 to 5 days, one time in the month. So not every week, but just one time. So in April, I will be doing a mono diet of 3 to 5 days in April, and I would love to join, invite you to join me to do that so that we could do it together, because it can be like just eating it like, this doesn't taste like the greatest, like, it's not great. But what I found, yes, it wasn't great the first day that I had it, but what I noticed by the third day, I'm like, I was tasting things that I didn't appreciate fully before that was in the khichdi already. And I'm like, oh, so I really got a chance to, I think it was just cleaning the palate, really getting a chance to see actually how good it tasted. So by the end of the 3 days, I actually continued the mono diet into the 5th day, because I was enjoying it so much. I probably got off topic there, or started going down a rabbit hole. So I hope I answered your question, Laura. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. What type of dry brush, Risa? We have either the dry brush with the bristles. I prefer one with a longer handle. And if you go to the website that is on my Insight Timer profile, which is graceyoga.net, and if you go there, then you can see a list of all the different items that are needed for this cleanse, including a link to the dry brushes and items that I've either have experience with or have read enough reviews on that I would buy for myself. And some of these items I have even gotten for myself and used them. With this 4-month cleanse, so Anna, I would say if you're already in balance, there is no need to do this cleanse for that long a period of time. When I got down to my weight of 115 pounds, and last year I was doing the cleanse, I felt like it was getting me down below the healthy BMI. Because it's that effective, I can control exactly what I want my body weight to be with this cleanse. And so for me, and it may be the case for you, that I didn't do that for as long a period of time. You could always try it. Maybe you just stay with month 1 and then you get the results that you want. Maybe you do only 2 weeks instead of a full month. Maybe you only do 2 weeks per each of these stages. Just some ideas. What do we do if you experience die-off such as a rash? So as you experience them, and it all depends on the person and the situation, Yasmin. I think it's a good question. The die-off, from what I've experienced and from what I've coached others through going through this, that they all had someone a doctor or a functional health professional to help guide them. Okay, this is good for you, this isn't good for you, to kind of guide them through, okay, maybe you need to take less of the Google, right? Or take less of the Triphala. I would just listen to your body and then seek assistance from your professional healthcare provider as you need it. Hey, Bob, thank you. Thanks, Risa. Thank you, Carla. Yeah, I'll post the PowerPoint. Let me write that down as well. I'll share it, share a link to it from the group. Going on to the next slide. Yeah, meditate every day, which a lot of us already do, being on Insight Timer, and then in bed by 10 p.m. And this is a list of all the supplies that were listed in all the months. And I have this list on my website, which is on my Insight Timer profile. You can either access it directly by going to graceyoga.net or go to my Insight Timer profile, and it'll give you this list so that you can have the list, and it also gives you links so you can view the items and read about them. Evie, the whole 4 months, honestly, is the most gentle process. Rushing through the process and only taking 2 weeks per phase can really push the body. It's best just to listen to your body. At the end of the month, assess and see if you're ready to go on. And the way that you know that you're ready to go on to the next phase is that you feel like you're not getting blemishes anymore. I had a sty come up on my eye. I had it happen the first 2 years that I was on the cleanse. But once all of that clears and you feel clear, then you can move to the next stage. Hi, Sarah. So I'm also Pitta Kapha. I am. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's do it together. I'm gonna start on March 20th, I believe is the date. I'll post more about it in the Grace Yoga Circle. So please be sure to join the circle so we can keep the conversation going. Oh, good peace. So happy, so thankful. You want to do the cleanse, but you don't want to lose weight, Maria. I do believe that it's possible to go on this cleanse and not lose weight. This cleanse just helps us to be able to crave those foods that are good for us and to let go of the things that are not good for us. So if your intention is to go on to this cleanse, be sure to, yes, eat healthy foods, but eat the correct amount of healthy foods for you to maintain your weight. And that's how I want to approach this year too as well, Maria. So we'll be in it together. Me too, Peace. I'm very excited about it. Oh, Jay, you didn't hear it? Yeah, so bone broth has collagen in it, and I've done research on vegetarian or vegan broths that could, if they're even possibly out there, and I have not found any. If you do research and you find that there is, it has to have that collagen. And if you find it, please share it with us in the Grace Yoga Circle. But as for me, I have not found it. I hope that helped you and answered your question. Yasmin, thank you. Oh, Maria, thank you. So ways to keep in contact with me, message me here on Insight Timer, join our group so that we can stay connected. I will have another talk very similar to this. If you'd like to attend, it will be in 1 month's time. I'll be posting that session soon. I'll go ahead and get it scheduled. It'll be either the first or second Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time in February. And we can go into this if we have the time. I mean, we went about an hour and 23 minutes. So I went 23 minutes over. I'll schedule that one probably for an hour and a half instead of 1 hour, because this was the first time we did it. So I didn't know what to expect as far as how long to go. But I wanted to have this recorded, but as I'm looking at it, it is being recorded, but it doesn't have any audio. So that's not going to help anybody. I think it would be better if we just did another session where we got to talk. And then as you go out and you look and you find the items, come back to the session. We can talk about it more. It's really a wonderful journey going on the Ayurvedic cleanse. It's very freeing. It does take time. It is a long amount of time, but it's not hard. Each thing that the Ayurvedic cleanse, that you do during the cleanse is very approachable. It's very easy, and you're not alone. We can be doing it together. Thank you so much, Yasmin, for your very generous donation. Thank you so much. Laura, thank you so much for your super generous donation. If you enjoyed this talk and you feel that you benefited from it and you want to donate, you're welcome to. If you just want to click some hearts, if you want to click my picture and click follow me, all of that, it helps me. It helps Insight Timer. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Peace. So grateful for you. All right, and with that, if I want to give the opportunity to anybody, if you have had a question that you are just wanting to ask, go ahead and ask it now. We'll plan to end the session here soon, but I've enjoyed the time with you. I haven't even really drunk my chamomile tea yet. Thank you, Becky. So good to see you. Thank you, Angel. Do y'all see Anna back there sleeping? The dogs are so good. We have, I don't know if this is the camera. We have Benjamin and Belle over there on the couch. So they're here with us, just being all chill. We do have a yoga class this coming Thursday at 6:45 p.m. where we'll do about 40 minutes of yoga asana and then a 30-minute yoga nidra guided meditation. So join us if you're interested in that. And then if you like, you can always listen to my meditations that are here on Insight Timer. Thank you, Insight Timer. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We have a question from LaJoy. Do the oiling abhyanga. Ooh, abhyanga is so nice. I do abhyanga oiling. So it's like warming up the oil. It's important to warm up that oil, and you basically just rub oil all over the skin, rubbing the oil in the same direction toward the heart. And it makes you feel so, it's like giving yourself a massage, but really it helps to reduce the stress and put us in that very calm rest and digest, or the activating our parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah. Thank you, Anami. PC's her mom, Georgina, here. Thank you, Iga. Thank you, Sarah. I use, to warm up the oil, I used to, well, I'll tell you what I use and then I'll tell you what I used to use. I use now one of those mug warmers, and then I'll have mason jars, the little one, tiny 4-ounce ones, and I'll put it on there, and it heats up. It takes a few minutes, but it does heat it up nicely. I used to boil water and put my boiled water in a bowl and then immerse in a mason jar inside the bowl of boiling water the oil, and that was messy, maybe a little dangerous. So I've just found the better method of using that coffee cup warmer. Just looks like a little plate and it has buttons on it so you can turn up the temperature and adjust the temperature to what you want it to be. Yeah, give it a try. Let me know how it works for you. And LaJoy, I would say doing the abhyanga in the evening is, because it's so relaxing, it brings like just such calm over the whole body. And if you can, as you're doing the oiling massage, just like say thank you, like even if it's just like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and just give that intention. I mean, if you're not saying it out loud, but like just with intention, whatever. And if I love you doesn't sound like a good mantra for you, it might be you are beautiful, or I am beautiful. Just have some sort of positive mantra as you're oiling your body. Oh, Fleta, thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate that. And Jill, that happens sometimes when, if you have donated, and I've done this too, I've donated before to teachers and they didn't say anything, and I didn't see it either. But I do want to say thank you for your donation. And anyone else, if you donated and your donation didn't show up, I just want to say thank you. I see Evie's came in. Thank you so much, Evie. Yeah. I will see everyone on Thursday for yoga, and then the next time we meet on this topic will be in about 1 month's time. Thank you, Jenny, for your donation. Cute puppy. All right, JC, thank you for those hearts. take care, everyone. I think we're about to just wrap it up here. I appreciate all your questions, all your love, everything, all your feedback. Y'all are wonderful, amazing. Thank you, Yasmin. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a really good time today and take care of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Namaste, everybody.